Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Just before the peace conference, which just turned sour due to protesters being shot at. Thank you, Emmanellain. I dare say that could not have played out any worse, given that the first commander and Lord Arthur are not here to take control of the situation. I spoke with a messenger who said that they would be returning shortly, but until they do, naught will be done. Lord Emmanellain has retreated to the barracks and is refusing to speak to anyone. Therefore it falls to us to ensure that order has been fully restored. Come, let us walk the streets and speak with the people. My wife and I fell while fleeing with the others at first. The chirurgeons tended to our bruises afterwards. Those mad fools have ruined everything. And for what? They were wrong to resort to violence, but when I heard her speak, her words were as a dagger in my heart. Who are we to decide that enough is enough? That their calls for justice can never be answered? Will this be the end of it? Or will be others like them and the true brothers? I do not want to bear steel against my kinsmen ever again. I do not know if I even can. I'd heard rumors that the young lord was a drunken fool. What imbecile thought it would be a good idea to let him have the run of Falcon's Nest? Well, I say him and Sir Emmerich take up the bloody change and shove it up their asses, and not be taken in by that rot again. So do others. If this is about the damn protests, I don't want to hear it. Gods, how could I have been so foolish? She was right. Seven hells, the least he could have done is to stop the bloody fool before he shot the second arrow. Well, what say you? So violence has passed, but the people are far from recovered. That's to be expected. For the moment, it appears that no innocents were harmed by the guards. The blame for all casualties can be placed squarely upon the protesters. Nevertheless, the people will not soon forget the image of a young lordling ordering the public execution of an unarmed protester. Those words resonated with the hearts of many. After all, who among us has not lost loved ones? Lord Arthur and the first commander should have returned by now. To the tavern then. Their first order of business will be to speak to Lord Emmanellain. And I somehow doubt that he was moved and ill since we last saw him. If you take me, what a disaster! I should never have left. My apologies, Serenia. I bear full responsibility for this debacle. There will be time for that later. I, for one, am more concerned about picking up the pieces. What do we know? According to initial reports, the protest was orchestrated by the young woman whom Lord Emmanellain ordered shot. She and the conspirators infiltrated Falcon's Nest, posing as servants and guests. Several were taken alive. Others resisted and were struck down. Still others took their own lives. Our forces suffered casualties as well, but by the grace of the Fury, no civilians were seriously injured. Still more remarkably, the ringleader yet lives. For the time being, at least. The Chirurgeons are doing what they can for her, but she may not live through the night. Given the impeccable timing, it's like that the convictors who drew us away from the hamlet were in league with the protesters. Accordingly, we have detained them for questioning. I will be sworn that these villains spent as much effort plotting the failure of this peace conference as we did its success. Well, if the mood of the hamlet is any indication, theirs has been the more fruitful labor. In the wake of a protest, the people seem disillusioned. You spoke to them, I see. Sir Emmerich placed his trust in me, and it will be difficult to explain what has happened here. Remember how far we have come, First Commander. The people's faith may be shaken, but we convinced them before and will do so again. If we can but find a means to remind them, to show them once more the promise that change holds for all, then this tragedy too shall pass into the past. We must pray that you are right. Nonetheless, for the time being, I have no choice but to suspend the peace conference, pending Sir Emmerich's final decision. Under the circumstances, I cannot leave Falcon's Nest. Serenia, will you deliver my report to the Lord Commander in Maestad? Get up, Emmanellain. You're going with her. Go on without me. I was not asking. You will answer for your actions. In person. Is that clear? Yes, my lord. Come, Honora. Your manservant is not here. In fact, I have not seen him for some time. Honora? Honora, I could have sworn he was... Oh, the boy struck me as rather devoted type. What reason would he have to leave his master unattended for so long? Yeah. So, let's see where he is. Yeah.
Honora! No! What have they done to you? Honora! Honora!
Is that you, my lord? You seem rather flustered.
Because of you, you imbecile! What in the seven hells happened to you?
My apologies. Some few of the guests expressed a wish to leave, and I implored them to stay. It would seem they took issue with my request.
Oh, gods forgive me. If I had only been more careful with my words.
Do not blame yourself, my lord. I know that you and your brother have Ishgard's best interests at heart. That poor woman. She lives in the past, clinging to the memories of the lost. But the future holds so much promise, so much joy. And you know that better than any.
Onua?
Calm yourself. The boy will live. But it's imperative we get him inside and into the care of a Chirurgeon without delay.
Oh, we were so close! Why does it all have to fall to pieces? Don't they want to live in peace? Don't they want to be happy? We all want the same thing! And still it falls to pieces! Tell me, what was I supposed to do? Someone, anyone, tell me, what was I supposed to do?
Alright, Fenquid.
Stop looking to others. You make your choice and you live with the consequences.
And what would you know about consequences? You who always know just what to say and just what to do. Your every deed is greeted with a round of applause.
No, it's not.
You know nothing about me. I have fought tooth and nail for the people I hold dear. Done everything in my power to save them. And I have failed. Learn to live with it. I have.
Yeah. Fenquid has eaten himself up for stuff as well. That was the reason why he fell to La Habrea in A Realm Reborn. Because he overworked himself, pushing on and on and on, far beyond his limits, and that made him too weak to fight back. I may have overreacted, but it needed to be done. He was becoming hysterical. I understand the desire to look for reasons, for excuses, to convince yourself you had no choice. But the past is the past, and there's not to be gained from reliving your mistakes. I know this. I know this. But he? I have no desire to wait for the Lordling to emerge from his puddle of self-pity. We have important matters to attend in Ishgard. So, let's bring the bad news to Sir Emeric. Word of a demonstration and its resolution outstripped you, Zerenia. Every man, woman, and child of Ishgard has heard the tale. 'Tis rumored that my youngest lack of judgment was to blame. Of course, such stories are prone to exaggeration. What exactly came to pass? I see. So that is the truth of it. Regardless of his intent, the result is undeniable. He has furthered the cause of his misguided few we cannot let go of the past. In an instant, the delicate peace we are poised to forge is once more beyond us. To dwell so deeply on the war and vengeance it begets, only for that to be taken away. Is it any wonder they were left bereft? For what was this sacrifice? Have we not for show for our suffering? I thought peace was sufficient self. But mayhap I was mistaken. We are warriors, Lord Edmund, and ours is a nation built on centuries of warfare. Right or wrong, this is who we are, and we deny it at our peril. To hold on to the past, without being beholden to it. Aye, we must needs find a way to honor the sacrifices of our forefathers, without glorying in their excesses. A difficult path, to be sure. We dare not deny the scourge which mar our nation's soul, lest we spur other disillusioned souls to retrace them. But, as you say, we dare not revel in past glories either, for they are tainted all. A clear, unambiguous enemy and an undeniably righteous cause. 'Tis a bitter reflection, but lies where they were, they did long serve to unite us. No truth will ever serve as well, I fear. Yet, we are not without options. At our last meeting, a proposal was tabled by the other members of the Eorzean Alliance for joint military exercises, to strengthen the ties between our nations and test our readiness to meet with a common threat. I had thought to delay these exercises until after the peace conference, but mayhap a grand melee would be just the thing to lift our beleaguered spirits. Better still, an occasion for the Temple Knights and the Watch to take to the field as allies, a unified Ashgardian force filled with men and women from all walks of life, which would stand against the coalition of the allied nations' finest. Hosted by Ishgard in the shadows of the great gates of judgment, a victory under such circumstances would serve as a reaffirmation, nay, a declaration to all and sundry that we are as strong and united as ever. Such a victory would do much to fan the flames of patriotism, 'tis true. But if we should be defeated, though even to hold our own against the cream of a free nations might be presented as a triumph. Very well, you may count on my support, for what little it is worth. However, I have a request. I would have my son Emmanellain take part in the grand melee. By his deed has he brought shame upon Ishgard, and so by his deed I would have him bring our nation honor. As you wish, my lord. If that is his desire, then it shall be so. Now then, we have no time to lose. Serenia, would you be so kind as to deliver my instructions to Lucia? I shall write to the Alliance leaders at once and begin making arrangements for the grand melee. Should you chance to see my son, pray inform him of his duty. If he has not already returned, he will soon enough, making every effort to avoid me. Okay. It might help. So that is the solution. A grand melee to unite the people. And what part would they have you play in this affair, I wonder? You whom they have taken into their confidence, upon whom they have come so heavily to rely. And will you oblige them when the proposition is made? Will you stand for Ishgard once more? We have come this far, have we not? Well, when you put it like that, I suppose it would be a shame not to see it through to the bitter end. So the grand melee of his, Sir Emmerich wishes to field a force compromising of both his temple knights and Hilda's watch, yes? I can only imagine what she will have to say about that. In fact, curiosity compels me to go and see for myself. You know what? I join friend rate at that. Not much to say, has she? Well met, Serenia. Have you still broken with Sir Emmerich? I was aware of the Alliance's request, so Sir Emmerich would turn these exercises into a spectacle for the masses. It is not that I doubt the efficacy of such a plan. Indeed, I know its effectiveness only too well, having witnessed it firsthand. Nevertheless, he has not once given me reason to doubt his intentions, and these are desperate times indeed. I will select knights for the event forthwith. As for the watch... Thancred Van Bam. Did he now? How considerate of Master Thancred to seek out our young watch commander of his own volition. Alas, he acted prematurely. Pray deliver this list of watch candidates to Hilda. I would have her best man, not her most dispensable. Now we go to Hilda properly. Thancred's been telling me all about Sir Emmerich's grand soiree. Seems we expected to join in. It's nice of him to invite us and all, but I hope he knows what he's doing, cause we ain't dressed to dance with professional bleeding soldiers. Well, well, seems the first commander's gone and handpicked her guests. Can't say I disagree with her choices though. She's got a good eye. Will you be fighting too? Reckon it'd inspire the lads if you were. Might take their minds off getting that height stand and all. Think about it, eh? I hate to ask, but you haven't seen our favorite lordling, have you? I thought not. On the assumption that he's not to be found in his father's loving embrace, I suggest we split up and look for him. I will search foundation, you the pillars. I carried Onoa to the manor. Our best chirurgeons are tending to him as we speak. He is yet to wake, but surely he will. So far, Vess volunteered me for this grand melee of theirs. My beloved family, always making my decisions for me. No, it's not like that, it's just... Oh, you wouldn't understand, how could you? You are free to be the woman you want to be, whereas I I'm a son of House Fortemps, don't you see? My future was determined before I was born. What I could and could not do. Right or wrong, that was the way of it until the old order began to crumble. Now we wander amid the rubble, searching for a purpose, for a place. All around me, brave men and women rise to the occasion. With faith and conviction, they dedicate themselves to their causes. But not I. I was terrified of making the wrong choice, which is why I let better men make them for me. Do this, do that, take this duty, guard this conference. I suppose I had convinced myself I was above it, until your friend showed me otherwise. When I saw Honora, I wanted to scream. I wanted someone to blame. But in the end, it was only me. Only me. So you see, I cannot meekly bow my head and accept Father's command. Such cowardice is what brought me to this point. I will go to Sir Emeric, and I will make my own decision.
Lord Commander, if I may, I wish to speak with you before the Grand Melee.
Proceed.
How do you do it, my lord? How do you lead with such certainty, when so many of our countrymen will not hear of peace with the Dravanians? Some of them hate you almost as much as the dragons themselves. They decry you as a patricide in the streets. They even tried to kill you, for God's sakes. Yet still you march on, undaunted, where no archbishop dared to tread. What is your secret? Where do you find the strength?
For centuries, our nation has been punished for the sins of our forefathers. If our punishment is to end, I believe we must right the wrongs of antiquity and move forward as a nation united. Needless to say, my father did not share this opinion. He did not believe the people strong enough to bring about their own deliverance, trusting only in himself. Tyranny seemed to him the only solution. But I have faith in the people, Lord Emmanellain. I have faith that they will weather this storm and overcome every trial we set before them. Many have fought and died to see this blight upon our nation's history cleansed, and I would not let their sacrifices be in vain. Though we invite reprisals, the risk is worth the reward.
I want to believe. I do. Lord Commander, through my careless orders, a pall has been cast over these proceedings, and I beg the opportunity to make amends. I, Emmanellain de Fortemps, do hereby request leave to take part in the Grand Melee.
Who am I to deny such a heartfelt plea? We would be honored to have you join the fray, my lord.
You'll take charge of the Ishgardian forces.
For all my other responsibilities, I am still Lord Commander of the Temple Knights, and I would not soon yield this duty to another.
The esteemed Sir Emeric leading the Temple Knights and the Watch into battle along with my youngest. I could wish for no more.
Then you wish for too little, my lord. There is another who might yet join the fray. An indispensable ally to whom we owe much and more. An adventurer beholden to none, who nevertheless chose to champion our cause, who has shared in our suffering and in our glory. A warrior without equal, who I am privileged to call a friend. There is no one I would rather have fighting by my side. I ask this in full knowledge of your obligations, and will not think less of you should you refuse. But if your conscience will allow it, might you oblige me, my friend, one more time?
Let's do this.
Together we shall give the people a spectacle for the ages, a celebration to mark the dawning of a new era.
God help me, I think I might be in love. I dare say it might be cheating too. Your mere presence is enough to turn the tide of most battles. And did you see the way his eyes lit up when you nodded? It was a look of boundless relief and joy. One would think a politician more practiced at concealing his emotion. Still, his honesty does him credit. For a moment, I was fair inspired to pledge myself to the cause, but that would be improper. This is their fight. And yours, but not mine. So, but I believe we do this grand melee next time. Until then, I'm Mace and don't get lost.